Hey, what's going on, family? So first of all, I just want to say thank you for tuning into my video series. And before I say anything else, and before I do anything else, I want you to know that you are loved. I want you to know that you are worthy and that you are important, right? And the reason why I'm creating this video series is to be able to help you to understand how you can operate in your purpose, how you can understand the things that you're passionate about and how you can discover those, but then also how you could be a dope lyricist such as myself. But before we can even get to the artistry part, the most foundational thing for you to do is to understand your purpose. Let me ask you a question. What is your reason in being on earth? Like, why are you here? It's totally fine if you don't know, but we're going to figure that out today, right? Like, so what purpose is the very essence, the very reason, the very intention for a thing being in existence, right? Like every single day when you wake up, you brush your teeth. And when you brush your teeth, there's a reason why you brush your teeth. You brush your teeth so that when you go to school or you go to work, you're not like in somebody else's face, you know what I'm saying, with stinking breath. You're not, you know what I'm saying, out here looking crazy with yellow teeth. There's a very, very important reason, why you brush your teeth every single day is so that you will be in good health, right? And so that's what like purpose is understanding like the why, the intention for you being on earth. And so what my purpose is I rap to ignite purpose in the hearts of young black men, and I give them the tools to be authentic. Because growing up, honestly, I wanted to be like everybody else except for myself. And that's because I didn't have a representation of what purpose looks like. I didn't have a representation of what it looks like to walk every single day with intentionality and calculated and making the best effort to be your best self. I didn't see that growing up. And so I tried to be everything else that was around me. And it's unfortunate to say that what was around me was negative. It was very, very poor leadership. And that's why I grew up the way that I grew up. But now that I've understood my purpose and my identity, I want to give you those same exact tools to understand your purpose and your identity. And some of the ways that I've done that was through, of course, like growing in my relationship with God. If you don't know, I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ, right? Like I believe in the God of the Bible, and I read the Bible avidly. Like I'm an avid reader, and I avidly read the Bible because I believe that the Bible is the word and the truth of God, and it's God's truth. And if God's truth is like the universal overall truth, and it is what it is, it's like I don't want to believe anything that goes against what it is that he says. And so I think that what happens in life is that we grow up and we're conditioned to believe certain things about ourselves that aren't the truth. They are lies. We believe things like I'm ugly, or I'm stupid, or I'm not enough, or I'm slow, or, I'm not strong and I'm weak. And like you believe all of these different things, but we were conditioned throughout our whole entire life to believe negative things about ourselves. And I believe that it's a scientific study of some sort that the human brain thinks like 90% of negative thoughts. And so the best way that you could, combat those negative thoughts is by learning what the truth is and learning positive things about yourself. And that's why I gravitated toward the word of God, because God's word is so positive. It's so healing to my soul. You know what I'm saying? If I was the creator of a thing and I created a little mini me to run around and operate and, bring dominion and authority and create on the earth, if I created something, I'm pretty sure that I would have created it and I would have known the intention for that thing that I created. So that's why I feel like it's important to go back to our creator, which is God, which is the Father in heaven, and ask him, God, like, why did you create me? What was the reason that you put me on earth? And how can I discover that? How can I begin to operate in that, right? Like, those are some of the questions that you need to begin asking yourself and asking the creator. Like, how can I begin to operate in my purpose? And I know the way that I've been able to operate in my purpose is by taking those negative self-perceptions and enforcing positive self-affirmations with the word of God, right? Like, and so that's what we're going to do. That's our first activity for today. We're going to get a notebook. So I got a notebook here. And so we're going to get a notebook And what we're going to do in our notebook is we're going to take the notebook and we're going to draw a line down the middle of the paper, right? And we're going to draw a line down the middle of this notebook paper. And on the left side of the notebook, we're going to put the negative self-perceptions that we have of ourselves, okay? Boom. See? Put a line down the paper. And like I said, on the left side, we're going to put the negative self-perception. We're just going to focus on that for now. And so what are some of the things that you think negatively about yourself or that you've heard other people spew over you? Like one of the things that I, have been spoken over, or one of the things that people have spoken over me, was that, I'm ugly, right? So that's something that I believed growing up, is that I'm ugly. So let's write that down. I'm ugly. What's some of the other negative self-perceptions? I'm not enough. I'm fearful. I'm anxious. I'm stupid. Like I'm weak. These are the negative self-perceptions. So let's write some of those down. I am stupid. I am fearful. You want to really address all of these things because this is you addressing yourself. This is you really taking a step in order for you to become the greatest version of yourself. And in order for you to do that, you got to face all of the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. You got to face every single last thing that's on the inside of you in order for you to rise above it. So first we got to do is write it down so we can address it. Okay, so after you write 10 to 20 negative self-perceptions, what I want you to do is do something that I typically do, which is Google biblical I am statements. Right? And the reason why I Google biblical I am statements is because God says that we were made in his image. And if we were made in God's image and he's the great I am, everything that we attach to his name, I am, is what we really will be. So I like to say things that like, I am blessed, like I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am righteous, I am free, I am love, I am pure, I am purpose, like I am enough, I am handsome, I am everything that I need to be. I can, I will, and I must continue to pursue, seek, and follow God's kingdom with all my heart, mind, soul, body, and spirit. Like these are the type of things that I begin to speak over myself, right? To combat all of the negative self-perceptions that I've been conditioned to think about myself. So like I said, what I want you to do is I want you to Google biblical affirmations, biblical I am statements. And I want you to write down for every negative that you put, I want you to find something that's opposite. Like I am fearfully and wonderfully made. If it's I'm stupid, it's I am fearfully and wonderfully made. If I'm poor, you want to write down I am rich and I am blessed beyond measure. Like you want to really figure out what it is that God says, your creator says about you, so that you could get back to the original essence in which you were created, so that you could be that very thing that God called you to be, right? That's what you want to do. And after you take about like 5 to 10 minutes to write those things down, I want to tell you the importance of, knowing your purpose. And I want to show you like what your purpose is, right? So your purpose is your identity, right? Your purpose is not what you do. Your purpose is not who you hang with. Your purpose is not necessarily where you're from, like the country or the town. That's not your purpose. Your purpose is your identity. And your identity is who you are. And who are you? I know who I am, but I'm asking you, who are you? See, I am a child of God, right? Like, and that is the foundation of everything that I do. That is the foundation of everything that I am. It all stems and roots from me being a child of God. Why is that so important? The reason why you being a child of God is so important is because I just told you. God is the creator of the whole entire universe, everything inside and outside of it. And if I want to know my purpose and the reason why I was placed on earth, I got to go back to him. And when I go back to him, I have to understand who God is. God is love, right? Like, and if God is love, then my essence and the thing that I'm made up of is love. And that means that I really need to begin to embrace myself and everybody else around me with love. Right? Like, and I want to explain something to you. And I know that this could seem a little bit complex, but I'm going to put it in its very, very simplest form. The human being, we have three different parts, right? Like, we have our flesh, and we have our soul, and we have our spirit, right? Like, our flesh is the physical body that we have. Like, this body, it came from the earth, and to the earth it will return. So whenever you die, they'll put you back on the earth, because this body is literally made up of, like, the particles and the things that were made up in the earth, right? Like, and then you have a soul, which is the mediator between your flesh, your body, and your spirit. Now, your spirit came from God, and God's spirit, once again, is love. But in the beginning, when God breathed breath into the nostrils of man, he breathed his ruach breath, his Holy Spirit, literally the living essence, the thing that gives everything life. He breathed that breath into the nostrils of man, and that's how he became a living soul. So you have a spirit which came from God, and the God will return. And you have a flesh that came from the earth, and to the earth it will return. Now, your soul is a thing that you make the decision as to what it is that you're going to do, whether you're going to follow the ways of the spirit and you're going to follow the ways of your flesh. Now, when you follow the ways of the flesh and the ways of your body, the desires of your body, it really can just lead down a road of destruction. It can lead you down a path that's not really fulfilling to your spirit. And so you'll be doing a lot of things that are fulfilling and pleasurable in the moment to your body. And your spirit internally will be suffering. It'll be cringing, and it'll be like, it'll be hardening on the inside, and it'll really, really cause you to be suffering. So whenever you do certain things in life, just to name a few, like drinking or smoking or having sex or whatever, like, those are some of the things that you can do that cause your spirit to be broken on the inside. Right? Like, so that's why, like, when I make music, like, I'm not making music to promote that type of lifestyle. Because I understand and I realize that type of lifestyle only leads to my spirit being broke. And your spirit, man, is the most important version of yourself. Your spirit, man, is the part of you that's unseen, but it's more real than a part of you that it is even seen. So that's why it's important for you to take care of your spirit. Now, when you live in the ways of the spirit gives you life. It gives your soul healing. It gives your mind healing. It opens you up into all of the different realities and all of the different opportunities that there could be for you to advance, and for you to advance everything and everybody else around you. The spirit gives you life, and the flesh gives you death, right? Like, so your soul, like I said, is the mediator between your physical body and your spirit. And your soul needs to be trained. Your soul needs to be trained to follow the ways of your spirit. And the way that you train your soul is by learning the word of God, is by praying, is by getting in a community of individuals, such as like a church, where you could really grow in the ways of your spirit. And as you're growing in the ways of your spirit, like, you'll become more and more of the original version that God created you to be. You'll get back to the essence of what it is that he created you to be. And you'll recondition your mind through reading the word of God. Reading the word of God is literally just reading the script for your life. It's reading the manual. It's the actual manual for you to be able to operate in the best way possible. So that's one of the ways that I personally get back to being my original self, and that I have grown in my identity, and that I have grown in my purpose, which is learning, my relationship with God, and understanding that, and moving and doing everything else that I do outside of that place. So that's my spiel today on purpose. And in the next video, we'll get a little bit more into the passion side of things. But for right now, I just want you to really, really hone in on what it is that you were put on the earth. So go back, make sure you go back and watch this video over and over and just pick out all the gems and all of the nuggets that you could possibly find from within this video. And, you know, like I said, and just take it and grow from it and learn as much as you possibly can. So I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next video. Welcome back, family. My name is YS1, Yusef Shelton the first, and today we're talking about passion. So what passion is passion is when you feel a very deep emotional connection to something that you're passionate about. It's something that you feel very deep, enthusiastic, emotional connection to something. I often like to think of, you know, passion is things that either bring you joy or things that bring you a lot of anger or pain and suffering, right? And so today I want to ask you, what are the things that you are passionate about? What are the things that you are passionate about? The reason why it's important for you to understand the things that you are passionate about is because the very same things that you're passionate about, there's other people in the world, right, like that are passionate about those same things. And they may need to see an individual such as yourself really doing those things that they're passionate about, because it'll inspire them and it'll give them the fire, the desire, the drive, right, like to be able to carry out those same passions, right? And so today, I want to ask you a question like, who are some of the people that inspire you? Like personally, some of the people that inspire me, I could just to name a few off the top. I would say Eric Thomas. He's the #1 motivational speaker in the world. Another guy, you know, is kind of in his camp. His name is Toby Nwigwe. He is a phenomenal artist, man of God, and he's a family man as well. He's someone who I kind of like definitely just draw a lot of inspiration from. And then another person that I would be inspired by is J. Cole. J. Cole definitely played a huge role in like my developmental years and helping me to shape and form like the perspective that I have even on the world, right? Like through his music. And these are the different people that I gravitate toward and that inspire me, right? Like for different reasons. And, you know, Eric Thomas, he inspires me because he came from the hood. He came from, you know, humble beginnings. And he was able to rise above his circumstances. And in him rising above his circumstances, he became a motivational speaker. And speaking is something that I have a passion for, right? Like that's something that I was able to identify in him, that I seen, that I like for myself when I do it. And it just made me realize that that's something that I'm good at, right? Like someone who like Toby Nwigwe, just me seeing how passionate he is about his faith and his family and about the culture of hip hop, and just seeing purpose be the center of his message. That's something that made me gravitate toward him. And then J. Cole, like, man, just like his lyricism and just the way that he tells stories and just the tonality of his voice, like those are the different reasons that make me gravitate toward these individuals. And then I could take a page out of each one of these individuals' book and I can apply them to what it is that I now do, which is rapping to ignite purpose in the hearts of young black men and giving them the tools to be authentic. So that's why it's very, very important for you to discover the people and the individuals in your life that inspire you, right? Because they've healed through a lot of trauma and they've went through a lot of things throughout their life where they were able to overcome, all of those different things. And that's what led them to be as successful as they are today. And I feel like if they could do it, I could do it as well. And so that's why I really even still to this day draw inspiration from those individuals. And so that opens me to my first point of what we're going to do, which is we're going to get our notebook and we're going to get a pen. And I want you to write down 3 individuals who really, truly inspire you. So like I said, my first individual is Eric Thomas, Toby Nwigwe, and then J. Cole. J. Cole. Right? So once you write down the 3 individuals who really inspire you, right, like that you see them in their career field, operating in their purpose and in excellence, I want you to write those 3 people down and then write the reason why these three people inspire you. So like I said, E.T. inspires me because he came from humble beginnings and he overcame it, and now he speaks. Toby inspires me because he's walking in purpose and he promotes purpose and he puts it through his music. J. Cole inspires me because he's very great at telling stories, and I love the way his voice sounds over a beat. These are the reason why these people inspire me. I need you to identify with that very thing, and the individuals that you see doing the things that you want to do. I want you to identify what it is that inspires you about those people, and then write it down. Okay? And after we write down what it is that, inspires us about them, I just want you to know that passion is the very thing that ties into purpose, right? Like, the reason why passion ties into purpose is because passion is something that you do, right? Like, a purpose is who you are. We discovered that in the last video, but purpose is what you do, and passion, purpose is who you are, and passion is what you do, right? And one of the things that I'm passionate about is rap, because growing up, I seen a lot of different people rapping, you know what I'm saying? Kicking, spitting bars, and they was putting out a lot of negativity. And when I listened to that music, I grew up, thinking in the very ways that these people were promoting in their music, like glorifying the streets and money and drugs and all different type of things that weren't really healthy for my soul, right? So now that I'm older, I realize that the things that I listen to are, what help to shape my perception of reality. They help to shape the way that I view the world around me. And so that's why I'm very conscious of the things that I listen to. And so I wanted you to understand that whatever you're passionate about, right? Like it is what you do. And that will tie into your purpose, because passion is the vehicle, right? Where purpose is the engine. So your purpose, your reason for being on earth, right? Like you being like a child of God, you being like an individual who's going to change the world, right? Because your essence is made up of love, right? Like that's the engine that is in your vehicle. But the vehicle, it could be dancing, it could be, art, it could be artistry as far as painting and drawing, it could be music, it could be opera singing, it could be whatever it is that the vehicle, you could be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever it is that you really, really want to do. But it's very, very important for you to write down the things that you are passionate about. So, like for instance, I kind of grew up in a single parent background, right? So one of the things that I'm very, very passionate about is just seeing the individuals who grow up in a single parent background get the tools and the resources that they need to be the best version of themselves. One of the things that I'm very passionate about is seeing individuals who grow up in a single parent background be given the tools and the resources that they need to develop and become their best selves, right? Because like I said, I grew up without a father figure in the home. And then at one point in time, like my mother was no longer able to take care of me. And so that's one of the things that I'm very, very passionate about, either because at a point in time in my life, it made me angry and it frustrated me. Right? Like, or because it brings me joy to see other people who are in those same type of circumstances and predicaments in life be given like the tools to navigate through it. Like I wasn't given the tools to be able to navigate through those things. And so that's why I'm very, very passionate about. That's why I'm very, very enthusiastic about seeing people such as yourself like be given those very, very same tools that you would need to overcome all of your trauma and all of your hurt and all of the things that you may experience in this life. Another thing that I'm very, very much so passionate about was sports. I grew up being an athlete like my whole entire life. And so I love seeing people operate in their skill set and being athletes, whether it's, football, basketball, baseball. I just love hanging with athletes and I just love the mindset that comes with being an athlete. So that's another thing that I'm passionate about, because playing football my whole entire life made it joyful for me. That was a joyful thing that I partook in. And so I want you to just write down, right, like some of the things that either bring you anger and they make you frustrated, or they bring you joy. Some of the things that you see that you don't like, that you might want to change, or some of the things that you see that you love and that you want to like partake in. So, like I said, one of the things that brings me joy is music. I like music because it gives me the platform to be able to empower like my community and be able to, give good messages in my music, and also just be able to make vibey music that people could listen to and really love. The reason why I like being there for other, individuals, young individuals who don't have their parents, is because like I said, I didn't have my parents. So one of the things that like made me angry in life is not having my parents. So that's one of the things that I'm passionate about. Right? That's what I'm writing down. And then the last one was sports. I'm very, very passionate about sports because sports always gave me joy. It was an outlet. It was something for me to do when I could have been doing a ton of other negative things that could have led me down a really negative pathway. Right? And so after you identify these things and you're able to realize that the things that you're angry about or that you want to change or you want to see someone else change, and the things that bring you joy, these are the things that you have an interest or a curiosity about. Those are the vehicle that you may be able to use to deliver your purpose to the world. Okay. And now what I want to do is I want to just, rap a couple bars for y'all just to show y'all how you could take your passion and you can infuse it into the music. So there was something that I said in one of the rap songs that I did, and I said, purposeful with vision, that's a nuke blow. Translucent when I'm walking in the truth. Take away my energy and get reduced. Circle been improved, yeah, that's gonna give me boost. On the hardwood floor, I used to lay. So I ain't got no time to wait. I just do it for my fuck up in the age. I might as well go get it done today, ayy. See, I ain't got no time to be sitting, wishing and waiting for it. Give it all my time, be consistent and more than patient for it. All negative forces on forklifts, I'll probably make them forfeit. When I told iTunes to record this, wanted to feel important. And then he told me just to torch it, so I left him scorching. When I was young, I used to want to pull up in the Porsches, but then want to drive a road but morbid to eternal torment. See, I had came up out the H-dub, seen killers who really ate slugs. Grandma did not have a pay stub. Grabbed my football cleats and laced up. God said I'm the chosen one. I guess it out and aced up. From when we couldn't flush the toilet. And the winter rain had feet, so the pots was just steady boiling. Ovens was always open. Windows was always broken. That was always provoking. Angels always arriving and demons always be poking. Whenever I'm in the hood, they just say that I give them hope. I lead them right to the Lord, cause let them down is what he want, and I will. Just another filthy human working out in the field. Only reason that I build is cause of what he instilled. Come on, tell him for real. Before you lay down at night, how you did not have a meal. Was no man around the house, no one else to pay the bills. Hey, so that's one of the raps that I did that really just embodies everything that I just told you. Like my purpose, which is being a child of God, right? Like, so just knowing that he'll take care of me, and then using a vehicle of music, which I love and I have a joy and a passion about. So the next video, we're just going to dive in to the very, very basics and the foundation of writing lyrics and how you can really make a song from scratch. And then I'm gonna show you guys what it is that I do and like what it is that I'm passionate about. Yup. And so we finally made it through to the last video, and we've been able to unpack what it means to walk in your purpose and understand that your purpose is not what you do, but it's who you are. Or who you are is literally the essence of love. Right, like the creator of the universe placed his spirit on the inside of you and allowed you to become love, so that you could use whatever passions, whatever things that you've experienced in your life, right, like that brought you joy or that made you angry and it made you feel enthusiastic or it made you emotionally tied to it. You could use those very things as vehicles, such as rap music, or such as like growing up in poverty, or whatever it is that you see that is something in life that you don't like. You use that very thing as a vehicle, right? Like and what I personally have used as a vehicle was rap music, and it's been such a very, very instrumental thing in my life as far as shaping what it is, the way that I view the whole entire world, right? So man, like everybody really already should know the very basics of writing music, which is how to rhyme. Like, and you don't always have to rhyme whenever you're making rap music. But realistically, that's kind of like the essence of rap music is, cat, hat, dog, log, and those are some of the easier ABC rhymes. But today, what I really want to be able to do is teach you, first of all, how to express yourself, and then how to make like metaphors. So first of all, whenever I come across a beat or something that I like, maybe I might hear a beat or something that I could find on YouTube, searching YouTube and just try to find multiple different type of beats that I like. The first thing that I go for is vibe, right? Like I see what type of vibe that I like, what type of message that I want to put forth, and that really kind of comes sometimes after whenever I listen to a beat and I hear what it is that the beat is speaking to me. So whenever I listen to music, the beat kind of speaks to me, and to me it already has words in it, and the beat kind of tells me, what it wants me to say on it, and I kind of like just follow through. But that's just like one of my own personal little secrets. But realistically, everybody might not be as gifted to have that same gift, but you still, are gifted in some sort. But I would say the first thing to do is whenever you listen to a beat is just think about how it makes you feel. Think about the mental place that it takes you to. Sometimes when I listen to beats, it takes me back to my childhood. Sometimes it takes me to my future. Sometimes it takes me to the now, the present, like what I'm currently experiencing. And then I really just write and express whatever it is that is on my heart to express. And sometimes I'm not going to lie. When I'm making music, it's not always super like me thinking about a message that I want to put in a song. Sometimes I'm just having fun, and I really just be freestyling, like, spitting off the top of my head, just saying anything. And sometimes I think that, what keeps us from creating is being overly critical of ourselves and thinking that we don't have what it takes in order for us to be created. And that's why you have to get back down to your foundation, which is your purpose. So that even when you do come up against those thoughts of feeling like you're not worthy enough, you can remind yourself of those affirmations that we went over, right? And then once you get the identity part out the way, then you could just really realize that, man, like music is really just about having fun. It's about having fun, and then using those things that you're passionate about, like the issues that you may see in the world, right? Like that you're passionate about, that you want to express through music. And so I have one song that I express my viewpoint on growing up with a single parent, right? Like and in that song I was kind of like speaking to my younger self in a way where I was like kind of schooling him and coaching him and telling him like, look, bro, you know what I'm saying, you making it harder for your mom than it already is. She's already a single parent. She's trying to doing her best that she could possibly do, and you're cutting up in school and wilding out and acting crazy, but it's really because of a traumatic experience and not having a dad and wanting attention. You see what I'm saying? And so I like address that issue by putting it in a song and just speaking directly to it. And so I think that, whenever you're making music, you really just want to speak from the heart. You know what I'm saying? Speak from the heart about the things that you see that's in or around you. And you really just like, more than even rhyming, because I mean, that's a huge part of it, but more than even rhyming, more than making bars, what you really need to do is speak directly from your heart. And I think that is what will drive your message forth. But then a few things that will help that, of course, is just like learning how to make bars or metaphors, and learning how to, get like a nice melodic flow going on a beat, and learning how to just, like in lack of better words, I would say just catch a vibe, you know what I'm saying? And like be able to like translate that into the music. And so today, I want to really just teach you guys what a metaphor is, right? And so a metaphor is a figure of speech, right? And what it does is it paints a mental image. Like, and whenever you say a metaphor, it really is something that it's not literal, but it's painting a picture of something with using your words to describe things in a way like I said in one of my last raps, purpose fused with vision, that's a nuke blow. Like whenever you put purpose and your vision together, that gives you like a nuclear explosion. But that's not a literal expression of having like a nuclear explosion, but it's just like a simile or a metaphor, something that's just like a figure of speech, something that really would just paint an image of of what it is that I'm trying to say, like in a larger way. It's like almost you're over exaggerating with your words, right? Um, and the way that you would do that is you would take a concept such as putting your purpose and your vision together, right? Like whenever you put, like, I guess whenever you're making a bomb, you will put multiple different chemicals together, right? Like and that will give you like an explosion. And so now what I want you to do is I want you to get your notebook and I want you to get your pen, right? Like, and the first thing that we're gonna write at the top of the paper is theme. We need a theme for the song. And you could put theme slash vibe, like what is the feeling that the song gives you, right? Like, and then the second thing that you want to write is bars, right? You want to write 16 bars. And what a bar is really just one phrase or one sentence. Like, so you could put bars in replace of like a sentence, basically. And it's just like like for each phrase that you would say that's one bar. So we're gonna put 16, because 16 is usually the number of bars or phrases that you would say in one verse on a song. And that's like the industry standard, but with music, it's like it's so open to your individuality and whatever it is that you want to create. So if you want to make 100 bars, if you want to make 30 bars, if you want to make 2 bars, 4 bars, 8 bars, whatever you want to do, is really honestly up to the individual, but 16 is like the standard number. So we want to write 16 bars. That's what we want to do. And then you want to think about, like, okay, you have the theme and you have the topic of what it is that you want to talk about. But then you might want to even brainstorm and write down some details about the topic. So, for instance, like I said in my last little rap that I just showed you guys, was like a family cookout. Like, and some of those descriptive words for a family cookout was describing what was going on around me, right? So what was going on around me was, like garbage getting taken out, basketball, uncles farting, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was like some of the descriptive words of what was going on around me. So you want to just write down some of the details of the theme that you want to go with, right? And then, like I said, like, you also want to keep the element of really just expressing and speaking straight from your heart while still rhyming. So, like the basic rhyme schemes and how to rhyme with cat and hat and dog and log. Like, those things, right? Like, but what you want to do is you want to be able to, sometimes when you're rapping, you either end a phrase with a certain rhyme word or you start a phrase with a certain rhyme word. And typically you would really end the phrase with a certain rhyme word, and you would continue, like, whenever you follow up with the second phrase, the second bar, you would follow it up with another rhyme word that rhymed with the last word in the last bar. So what that looks like is like, I was walking to the store and I grabbed a bag of chips, and then I made it to the crib, but before I did, I slipped. So the same way I said chips, the same way I said slip, it was the last word of each phrase. So that's the basic way that you want to write music and be able to rhyme with it as well. Okay, so now that you know that you have the theme, you want to write 16 bars, and you want to make the details. And then also, the details can lead you into making metaphors. So write down metaphors. And I want you to also just Google how to write a metaphor, because realistically, like, I don't have it all, but I can, point you in the right direction to figure out how to begin to write music, like, in the best way that you possibly can. So begin to write metaphors, right? And metaphors, once again, are just very not literal descriptions of something, but it's a figure of speech, which is something that is describing something else that is an actual thing, something that you would be using to draw a parallel, really just to make your point, right? And so those are, some of my basic tips on songwriting. Some of the things that I incorporate, which is like the theme and the vibe and just filling it out, you know what I'm saying? And it's a skill, right? Like, don't let nobody tell you that, like, you making music is not the way that everyone else makes music, because music is really just unique to your own individuality. So whatever it is that you feel you need the need to express, or whatever it is that you feel the need to say, then just say it. You know what I'm saying? And don't allow like the industry standards or even my own standards. Like, you could take every single last one of the rules that I gave you and break them and use them to fit whatever it is that you're trying to do, because there is no set way to like make music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just personally would suggest that whenever you make music, you would make music with purpose, and that you would keep like the things that you're passionate about in mind, because those things that you're passionate about are the things that, will last a longer time of life, that you'll be able to look back 10 years from now and be able to say, man, like, I really appreciate the fact that I made a song about something that still to this day I'm passionate about. So that's why I, gave you those different tools. But man, honestly, without further ado, I just want to wrap a couple of my songs for you guys, just to give you a overall example and understanding and perspective on, all of the things that I was just talking about. So I'm going to play a couple of the beats for y'all, and I'm also going to rap them for y'all. So just give me a second. Now listen, all I want to do is be an example. So if I'm the same kid that grew up in an impoverished neighborhood in a single parent background and is able to make music and be very, very good at it, you could do the same thing, but you just gotta practice, and it takes time. Study the people that you really genuinely like. Study the people that you are inspired by, right? Like, learn from what it is that they're doing, and then take from what it is that they're doing and implement it in what it is that you do. But really just stay true to who you are, right? Like, just stay true and authentic to who you genuinely are, right? Like, all of the things that you like and all of the things that are you and make your personality, right? Like, just be that, and don't try to fit in with anything that everybody else is doing. Like, really kind of separate yourself and just be your own individual, because in being your own individual, that is what will separate you. That's what will keep you ahead of anybody else who's trying to compete with you. Because while they're trying to compete with you, you're trying to compete with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you really become the best at your art and your craft. But this song that I'm getting ready to rap for y'all really quick, just a quick story about this song, is that this song is really just talking about, really walking in your purpose, walking in the vision that God gave you, right? Like, being everything that you feel like you was called on earth to be. Being a light to the people in your community, right? Like, and giving back in a way where you are empowering the people who look to you, right? Like, by leading them to a greater purpose in yourself. It ain't that one. It ain't that one, but it's this one. YS1 are the slums. No cap. You talk to me like you know me. Slap you right in your kufi. Remember was rockin' Koji, now spittin' nasty loogie. I assassin in the newbie while unraveling the truth. I can have if I choose it. I imagine it to be illuminating the light, and my niece's little name is Lumi. They say there wasn't no room. Out of the box is Romy, the one you comparing to me. Shadow boxing and Tubi. They said my collar would Juby. Back then they would call me Goofy. Oh, no, I really won't stoop low. I've been high stepping all through the poop though. Been a G since I hopped off the stoop shooting. I ain't trying to toot my own flute, but ain't no fluke though. Hot like Siraj, don't suit, bro. Translucent when I'm walking in the truth. In the purpose, fuel of vision, that's a nuke blow. Man, stupid when I'm hopping in the booth. Take away my energy and get reduced. Circle been approved, yeah, that's gonna give me boost. On the hard war fly, you should lay. So I ain't got no time to wait. I just do it for my folk up in the age. I might as well go get it done today. Ayy, see, I ain't got no time to be sitting, wishing and waiting for it. Give it all my time, be consistent and more than patient for it. All negative forces on front list, I'll probably make them forfeit. When I told I-Torn to record this, wanted to feel important. And then he told me just to torture, so I left him scorching. When I was young, I used to want to pull up in the Porsches, but then want to drive a rover morbid to eternal torment. See, I had came apart there aged up. Seen killers who really ate slugs. Drama, then I have a pay stub. Grab my football cleats and laced up. God said I'm the chosen one, I guess it I done aged up. From when we couldn't flush the toilet, and when it rained heavy, so the pots was just steady boiling. Ovens was always open, windows was always broken. That was always provoking, them angels always arriving. Demons always be poking whenever I'm in the hood. Say that I give them hope, I lead them right to the Lord, cause let them down is what he want, and I will. Just another filthy human working out in the field. Only reason that I build is cause of what he instilled. Come on, tell him for real, before you lay it on a night, how you did not have a meal, it's real. Next song that I'm getting ready to rap for y'all, it really just came from a space in my life where I was comparing myself to every single person around me, right? Like, and I really just wasn't being thankful for the things that I had right in front of me, right? Like where I was seeing everybody else do well in life and, you know, like drop music and I wasn't doing those things. And I think that we live in a social media generation, right? Like where you see everybody else living this luxurious lifestyle and some of it's not even real. But what happens is that we tend to compare ourselves to what it is that they got going on instead of just looking and seeing the things, the family, the friends, the loved ones, the food, the clothes that we do have, right? Like the house that we do have, the school the education that we do have, right? So this song was really, really just about choosing to, despite my circumstances, despite my surroundings, really just be grateful. YS1 from the slum, they says you was way too young. Now they see you coming up, hey man, look what you become. Eating in your face, it look flaming and burn. Don't compare what's on your plate, cause them tables gon' turn. Bow your head, say your grace, and keep standing firm. When it finally turns, just be careful that you will learn to be grateful. Just be grateful. You feel like you can't escape, just be grateful. Hella problems in your face, just be grateful. Know the greatest on the way and be, hey look, I come from where they clapping at you. If they happen to be mad at you, that's why everything I do is with change the picture frame and not a view of different. Family was dysfunctional, but now I'm kinda, they eating in your face, it look flaming the burn. Don't compare what's on your plate, cause them tables gon' turn. Bow your head, say your grace, and keep standing firm. When it finally turns, just be careful that you will learn to be grateful. Just be grateful. You feel like you can't escape, just be grateful. Hella problems in your face, just be grateful. Know the greatest on the way and be, I know what it feels like to be feeling otherwise. I used to be down and out, wishing I was other guys. Now I'm on the path to real fulfillment, make my mother cry. Used to walk to school, but now I feel like I can hover by. Cause I'm on the come up, shining bright and got this sun inside. Tell the truth and rock, cause in my life I told a ton of lies. I was never shooting up the party out here selling pies. Rocking Chucks and Ed Hardy, thought that I was hella fly. Now my lyrics revolutionary, shall we televised? Now my lyrics revolutionary, shall we televised? See, I done truly had enough. If you know me, know what's up for all my homies. And the people who know me, then it's a must to be grateful. To be grateful. You feel like you can't escape, to be grateful. Hella problems in your face, just be grateful. Know the greatest on the way and be grateful. Just be grateful, just be grateful. You feel like you can't escape, just be grateful. Hella problems in your face, just be grateful. Know the greatest on the way and be, I was out here living nervous, now I'm in purpose. I can't even say I earned it, boy, I discerned it. I was speaking to the spirit, he gave me word and said, be grateful in all things. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in to Yusef Shelton, YS1, Yusef Shelton the first, man. That's what I'm about, man, being the first, most original version, the authentic, true version of yourself, man. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Peace.
That was so great, Yusef. Thank you so much. I have a couple questions. before we get to Brittany. What are your,
Okay.
I know that you're God-fearing, I know that you are a storyteller, but what are your main inspirations?
As far as
Just
the music goes?
overall, just
Okay.
music, just teaching others. What is your main inspirations? If you could just sum it up into a couple words, what are your main inspirations?
So my main inspirations would honestly be seeing humanity push forward in a positive and progressive direction. And I believe the best way to do that is to be able to teach people their identity and their purpose and help them to understand that they were put on earth to love.
Well, your words are very encouraging. Thank you so much for your presentation and everything. Does anybody have any other questions before we move forward? All right. Well, thank you so much, Yusef.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.